Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Thanks for doing this. Start with you, Walker. Welcome back to the senior team. First of all, obviously you played in the Olympics last year, but didn't play for the senior squad at all last year. What's it like being back? And how much of an opportunity do you see at the center back position? And Jack, for you, I know the Republic of Ireland has had some interest in you in the past. When's the last time you heard from them? And obviously you were on that Olympic squad too. Are you still sort of keeping an open mind in terms of your future? Just curious where you are with that. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's obviously great anytime that you can come into a camp, get the chance to wear this badge and compete. I think for center backs, we're always competing every day in training, every camp that you're called in. It's always a competition. That's the unique thing about the national team. It's never, oh, you're on the team for this year. It's no, you're on the team for this roster, this camp, this training session. So I think that mindset just helps us, push each other along and makes it to where we can all grow as players, and we'll obviously support whoever's on the field on game day.
Yeah, and I think for me, there's been some talks in the past with them, but I'm here now. I'm here with the USA, and my full focus is here right now.
Again, if you'd like to get in the queue and ask a question, you can virtually raise your hand. We'll continue with Kyle Almoney.
Jack, what went through your mind when you were asked to participate in this camp, considering your current club, Philadelphia Union, is going to Spain with a brand new manager? And have you had discussions with Bradley Carnell yet?
Yeah, I think it's just a great opportunity. I know that a lot of the guys from a lot of the rosters in the biggest games come from this camp, so I think it's always an opportunity when you get a chance to play for the USA to kind of put your name out there and show what you can do. So I know the team's going through a lot of change right now. They're going to Spain preseason with a new coach who I've had a couple texts with so far, and I'm excited to meet them there too. But yeah, I think my full focus is here right now, like I said earlier, and I want to do the best I can for the club here.
Thank you, Kyle. Next will be Charlie Bone from MLSsoccer.com.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yep, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Sorry, having some tech issues on my side. I wanted to ask Walker, you've been through these before, and kind of over your career, MLS preseason starts earlier and earlier. So I wanted to ask you, what's the benefit of MNT January camp? What benefits do you get as an individual, and do you see the program getting with, now there being a chance for a lot of other players to get their season started earlier than in past years?
Yeah, I think just for the MLS guys in general, it's probably a positive to be starting a little bit earlier. I know in the past with January camps, you feel like you're starting way ahead of everyone, but now it's only a couple of days different. So it's nice on both sides. You feel like you're all putting in the work to get fit, to get a good base level before going into the season. But regardless of the timing, I think it's always an opportunity every time you get to come into a USMNT camp, especially one under a new coach. Chance to learn, chance to grow, chance to see how we're trying to play and how we're trying to progress as a country moving forward. So it's a lot of learning. Obviously, it's the time for fitness and pushing, and so that's going to strengthen bonds too when you're suffering next to a guy like Jack during the fitness. So. All of it's good. It's hard. That's how preseasons are supposed to be. But we're having a good time doing it together.
And if I could ask one follow-up to that, what have you seen that's different under Mauricio from past coaching staffs? How is it now?
Well, I think with any coach, you're going to get different types of sessions, different drills that you're experiencing that are going to convey different principles that they want to see on the field. So. We're doing a lot of boxes to start our training, moving into some possession, and then ultimately getting into the tactical stuff this week, whereas the first week was a little bit more, fitness focused, get your kind of rhythm back because, you've been off for 4 to 6 weeks in most cases. So, yeah, now we're into the tactical stuff, and it's finally learning, how do we want to play when we have the ball, how do we want to play when we don't have the ball, and just trying to get on the same page. And in doing so, we're learning a lot and doing a lot of drills that we might not have done in the past.
We'll go back to Doug McIntyre.
Walker, just to piggyback on Charlie's question there, off the field, what have some of the differences been? What are some of the things you've noticed with Maurizio and his staff? And Jack, for you, the Olympic experience last year, I know you got your first cap last January, but where are you now having had the experience of playing and representing the U.S. in a major international tournament? How much is that going to help you with the senior team going forward?
Yeah, I think off the field it's been great. You know, the coaching staff does a good job of trying to connect with the players. I think it's kind of a tale of two things where when you're on the field it's extremely intense, extremely competitive. You're expected to work hard at all times. And then when you're off the field, you can kind of relate to them more on a personal level and have good conversations. And right now they're just getting to know us, right? I mean, it's the first camp for a lot of us under this new staff, and so we're trying to get to know them as people. And so I think that's kind of what they're trying to do off the field is have side conversations and hear about where you're from and get to know kind of more about who you are as a person.
Yeah, I think for me, the Olympics was a huge learning experience. Playing against France in France, kind of the toughest place you can kind of play, you know, and playing games like Morocco where it's a very hostile environment. You get some of that playing with your club in CONCACAF, but when you play for your country, it's a whole new meaning, where your friends and family are all watching from home, and you're playing for more than just yourself, you know. So I think playing in those moments and those big games definitely is going to help me, especially with these two games now. New coach, playing with a lot of new players and a new system, and I think it'll definitely help me calm down.
Next will be Sanjay Sujan-Thakumar.
Thanks, Michael. Thanks, guys, for your time. This one's for Walker. Walker, could you just talk about how you're approaching, thinking about not just this camp, but the next 18 months or so? You were obviously with the Olympic group in kind of a mentor role, and I'd imagine it's similar with this group. But, you know, there's a World Cup in 18 months, and it seems like you're definitely one of the guys still in the mix. So could you talk about how you're balancing kind of that role in a camp like this, but also talking to Maurizio and his staff and just thinking about, you know, how you can put yourself in a position to be having a role at the World Cup? Thank you.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously, as you've been through more of these, you try and help out younger players as best you can, but at the same time, you're still competing, so it's always a fun dynamic. Thankfully, I did get to know a lot of these guys at the Olympics and build a lot of chemistry with them and just become good friends off the field. So that's always fun, just getting back together and hanging out again. For me specifically, it was about trying to get healthy in the off season, completely healthy, to where, you know, I don't have to worry about how my body's doing. And, you know, that kind of was more of the theme in 2024 that made it a little bit more difficult to be involved with the senior team, but was able to get on track during the Olympics and finish out the year in Nashville. And this off season was just about, you know, getting in the right space. And I'm excited and really optimistic with how this camp's gone so far to handle all the demands and stress that it's asked of us and how I'm feeling currently. So that was the main thing for me, and now it's always about competing. I mean, I know that there's always going to have to be two center backs most likely on the field. I got to try and be one of them, and I got to approach each training session like it's up for grabs. And I'm just trying to make a good impression in these two games, hopefully get the opportunity to get on the field. And if not, how can you be a good teammate and prepare the team to win? And that's kind of my goal every single camp, is how can I get better, try and make an impression, help the team win.
Next is Mike Waitala from Soccer America.
Hi, thank you very much. Has any of the training been geared toward the opponent yet? And either way, personally, are you guys thinking about the opponents, and do you have any kind of insight you can share about either of those teams, Costa Rica and Venezuela?
Yeah, I think the first week here has been more about ourselves, kind of getting familiar with the staff, getting familiar with each other as players, and kind of finding our feet back from the off season. It's been 4 or 5 weeks without any team trainings, team games, so it's been about getting fitness in, getting our reps back in. So I think this week now, heading towards the game, is going to be more focused on Venezuela. We know they're a young, hungry team just like us, who all have a point to prove to the new coaches here. So I think it'll be a really exciting game.